All right, it's time now for Media Watch. Emma James is with us in the studio. And Emma, it's been a few hours now since the Conservative candidate for the presidency, Francois Fillon, made that speech defending himself against allegations of corruption. What kind of reactions have you had since then?
Well, it is interesting because a lot of people perhaps were thinking that this was going to be the moment that he would withdraw from the presidential race. But no, he was very defiant. If we look at the front page on the website of Le Figaro, which is, of course, the right-wing newspaper here in France, they have this headline: "Nothing will change my mind. I am the candidate for the presidential election." And, of course, now he is really trying to unite the party behind him. And some people are convinced by what he had to say today, looking on social media. "I support Francois Fillon. It's a storm in a glass of water." The British equivalent would be a storm in a teacup. Another supporter here saying that he is the most transparent candidate for the presidency, and this person reaffirming their total support for him. Others, though,
I'm guessing not everyone felt that way.
Absolutely not. Others found his claims laughable and think that his political rivals will too. They've highlighted the quote, "I am honest," from Francois Fillon, and you've got Francois Hollande, Nicolas Sarkozy and Manuel Valls all pictured there having a good laugh.
Nicolas Sarkozy looks particularly tickled.
He does indeed. Others are pointing to particular remarks that they feel just don't carry water. This person points out that he said, "No one has the right to judge the work of a parliamentary assistant." Of course, what Penelope Fillon was supposed to have been doing. But as she points out, everyone has the right to know where public money is going. This Twitter user says, is paraphrasing Fillon as having said, "Just because my wife said she didn't work for me doesn't mean she didn't work for me. Good luck with that," he says. And of course, the Penelope Gate scandal really took off last week when footage of an old newspaper interview was unearthed from 2007, in which Penelope Fillon said she had never worked for her husband. But of course, Le Canard Enchaîné had said by then she had already earned hundreds of thousands of euros and had worked for him for many, many years. Now, the journalist who carried out that interview, Kim Wilshire, wrote this piece in The Guardian to talk about her unwitting role in this political scandal. And she talks about the French show that actually found these clips and used them to reveal what had been said. But Fillon today insisted that Ms. Wilshire was shocked by their use and that they had been taken out of context. She had this to say back to him: "No, Monsieur Fillon, the remarks were not out of context. The report by Envoyé Spécial, the investigative news programme here in France, does not shock me. Please," she says, because he's not the first person to claim that these remarks have been taken out of context. And having seen her transcript of what was said, they weren't taken out of context.
Because it was a video, it was played in full, wasn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I don't quite understand how the out-of-context argument comes into it. Of course, lots of people talking about the fact that he's claiming there's a media conspiracy against him.
We've heard that before, haven't we?
Yes, absolutely. Fake news, says this Twitter user, and he's actually managed to meld together Donald Trump and Francois Fillon. Rather a scary result there.
All right, so Francois Fillon having his troubles. Donald Trump's having a few troubles of his own, of course, today. But he has been something of a gift to the satirists, it has to be said.
Absolutely. You do wonder what Saturday Night Live did before we had Donald Trump. He's only been in power for just over 2 weeks. The US president is famously irritated by Alec Baldwin's portrayal of him on Saturday Night Live. This weekend, they went even further, implying that he is not the one who holds power. Instead, it is a sinister, skeletal version of Steve Bannon. Let's take a look at the clip.
Okay, Donald,
That's enough fun for tonight. Can I have my desk back?
Yes, of course, Mr. President. I'll go sit at my desk. Yeah. It's so much fun. I love it.
Yes, this is fun.
So there you go. It's pretty cruel. There's been lots of going on social media talking about, with the hashtag Stop President Bannon, that may be where they got their inspiration. This Sunday, the New York Times published an article which really delves into the Donald Trump administration. They say they've spoken to lots of insiders. And one of the interesting things in this article is that they say Bannon remains the president's dominant advisor, But Trump is said to be angry that he wasn't fully briefed on exactly what it meant to appoint him to the National Security Council. It's something that's raised a lot of controversy. It's never been done before. As the Daily Beast points out, they say that it's unprecedented for a security role like this to be given to a non-military advisor. Now, Donald Trump has been tweeting in response, as you might expect. He says, "I call my own shots largely based on an accumulation of data, and everyone knows it. Some fake news media, in order to marginalise, lies." He then went on. The failing New York Times writes, "Total fiction concerning me. They've gotten it wrong for 2 years and now are making up stories and sources." And the claims of fake news continue. On another thread, he says, "Any negative polls are fake news. Just like CNN, ABC, NBC polls during the election, sorry, people do want border security and extreme vetting." So according to the US president, any negative polls are just fake news.
They're all fake news. So that leaves Fox News. About the only one.
Pretty much.
All right, that he's agreeing with. All right, Emma, thank you very much indeed. Emma James there with